Hello, welcome to a video for our last banjo class, which we held on June 18th, last Thursday. This is for Madison College Banjo 1 Old Time Styles, where we're learning clawhammer and Seeger style. And this week we learned the C chord, we learned hammering on and pulling off, and we began to learn O Susanna, how to accompany yourself singing O Susanna. So that is what I'll review in this video. As you can see, there is a parakeet on my shoulder. His name is Pete, and he is my new parakeet. He's pretty young, he's a baby. He's still trying to figure out how to live in a house with a banjo player, and he's doing pretty well. I say he's pretty brave. So hopefully he'll remain on my shoulder for the rest of the video, and hopefully he'll sing along with us. So, how you doing, Pete? Yeah. So, we'll begin by tuning, and then we'll learn the rest of it. We'll learn the C chord, which we learned last time, hammering on and pulling off, and O Susanna. So, let's begin with tuning. So, here is the first string, D. Pete's getting restless. Now he wants to explore. Yeah. The second string is a B. Third string is a G. Oh, wow. Guess we lost Pete. Fourth string is a D. Fifth string is a G. So, come on, Bill. Come on, Pete. I need you. I need you here. It's much more interesting for our viewers. All right. So the C chord. So here's a G chord. The C chord is the new chord that we learned in the tuning of G. That's done with the index finger on the second string, first fret. Middle finger, the ring finger on the first string, second fret. The parakeet hasn't learned to fly yet, so he just usually flops onto the ground like that. First string, second fret, and then the middle finger goes on the fourth string, second fret, like that. So all sound like that, and your fingers should be arched so that they're not touching any other strings other than the ones that you are fretting. Should all ring clear. If you don't arch your fingers, it might sound like this. That should be nice and open. Alright, so that's the C chord. We'll use that in O Susanna. So hammering on and pulling off. Those are techniques of making notes outside of the bum-diddy rhythm. And you make those new notes with the left hand instead of the right hand, which is what we've been using before for making notes. So a hammer-on, the basic technique or philosophy behind it is that you take your finger on your left hand, preferably your middle finger kind of works best for this, but you can use any finger, and bring it down on the string with such force that it makes the string sound. Like that. shouldn't be right on the fret. It's kind of dead there, but it should be right above it, so it can ring. And it can be done by itself like that, but it sounds better after you've plucked that same string with your right hand, because then the string is already vibrating. It has more energy to vibrate. And you can do it on any string. On any fret. But we're going to be doing it mostly on the 4th string. But how do you work that into the bum-diddy rhythm? The bum-diddy rhythm goes, as we know, bum-ditty, bum-ditty, and that note gets added in between the bum and the dit. Bum-ditty, bum-ditty, so it's kind of a bum-ditty rhythm. Bum-ditty, bum-ditty. When you do it really fast, it sounds like this. You should practice it slow. Claw hammer, same thing. The pull off is kind of the other way around. Instead of coming down on it, you're pulling it off with your finger, like that. So you start with your finger on the string, on the fret, on any fret really, and then you pull off and kind of pluck a little bit toward your hand. So the note that gets sounded here is an open string note, the low D there, as opposed to the hammer-on, which is the whatever note that is. I guess that's an E, maybe? Which is the note on the 2nd fret. That's the hammer-on, but the pull-off is kind of plucking it with your left hand. You actually start out with that note on the 2nd fret and then pluck off. So you have kind of 2 notes there. And that works into the bum-diddy in the same way. Here, your ring finger, that sounds really great when it's fast. Last thing that I did there was a really useful lick, pretty advanced though, but I was doing a pull-off on the 1st string, but I was plucking up on the 3rd string and 4th strings. So basically I'm just plucking this string, and if you do that really fast in a bum-diddy, you get a nice ripple on it. So if you practice this for about a month straight or even longer, then you get that nice easy ripple, as Pete Seeger calls it. So that's for later. So hammer-on and pull-off. We're going to use those both in O Susanna. So I'm going to play O Susanna in according to the tablature that we have, and then I'll play it in a way that is kind of free from the tablature, because the goal of this is not to memorize the tablature and play a song that way. The goal is to use hammer-ons and pull-offs and all the other techniques that we'll be learning in your own way when you accompany yourself singing. So it's not supposed to be something that you memorize. It should be something that you sort of work into the way that you play, and you improvise using these tools. So that's what I'll end with after I do the tablature. But I have the tablature here to help you sort of, or to give you an example of how it could be used, and to help you learn them before they become second nature to you. So let's see if we can get this bird back for the final performance. There he is. All right. Let's do it, Pete. So this is according to the tablature. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see. It rained all night the day we met, the weather it was dry. The sun so hot I froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I'm come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I've come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. And that's pretty much how it's on tablature. I made a couple mistakes, but no big deal. So then I'll do it a little faster here. I'll play it one time through as according to tablature, and then for the other verses I'll improvise. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see. It rained all night the day I left, the weather it was dry. I sun so hot I froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. That is Oh Susanna. And good luck practicing the C chord, the hammer on, the pull off, Oh Susanna. And we'll see you next Thursday. Say goodbye, Pete.